Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to move on to the next song in the Sleep Token, This Place Will Become Your Tomb album. Today I think I'm going to do two. I'm going to do Fall For Me and Alkaline. Both of these have music videos, so that's pretty exciting. However, this is going to be a kind of special installment here because I actually have not seen the music video for Fall For Me. I actually didn't know I had one. I thought it was another visualizer like the rest, but kind of just clicking through, I see that it actually has some music video qualities to it for a song that I would not have expected to have one, right? And I guess you'll see why, if you're not familiar with the song, why I wouldn't have expected it. But we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it and see what this is all about. I'm excited.
In a city of ice, there are burning cathedrals, turning the skies into glass. And through echoing futures are the buckling sutures that haunt at the wounds of the past.
So this is already super interesting. I didn't know that this was how this was going to be. So we have, I know the song, some really beautiful imagery here in the vocals. And obviously this is pretty much a vocal only track. If you can consider it that. There is a lot of production on the vocals, but it's going to be vessel forward here. Just singing. I didn't expect to get these flashes of words that are not lyrics. So this is not the lyrics to the song. It says, what did it say? It says something like, "I am due a harsh lesson in truth itself and how bitter it can be." This is a kind of a brutally on its face. I mean, this is kind of interesting because we're getting this flowery metaphorical language in the lyrics, which we'll look at, but this is just a very blatant, on the nose, just kind of assessment of where he is, I guess. That's kind of wild. It seems to clash with the way that the song is being presented with this imagery in the lyrics, but we're getting this like wasteland. Oh man, I'm gonna keep going. This is interesting.
At the wounds of the past. So won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? Through a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality to the rhythm of eternity, won't you fall for me?
Whoa, hang on. I was just gonna pause there. I paused in a weird spot to get this flash here. Man, so we get this chorus, "Will you fall for me?" over like a confession that he knows that he's just not good enough. Man, that's some heavy stuff here. The song's already pretty heavy. Lyrically, obviously, it's not like, yeah, let's go like like metal heavy, but you know, thematically heavy. Man, and we get all these. This is like the scribbles, the little sigils that you get for certain songs. The Sleep Token does, and it said, "I am no god." Man, this feels like kind of a grounding, right? We've kind of been. The last music video was very much like fantastical, right? We've got like a lot of exaggerated movements in the choreography. Like I said, it kind of looked like a Tim Burton like nightmare type situation with the forest. But now this is just very grounded, very bare bones and brutal. Man, back up a little bit and keep going.
My insecurities surround me like lions in the den, and I feel like I'm losing touch with what I am again. Slowly I remember why I cannot pretend that I never think of you in all this falling silent. Oh God, I wish you were here. So won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? Through a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality to the rhythm of eternity, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? With my love is your garden, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality, I am yours in the end, so won't you fall for me?
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't pause much through that because I was just enraptured with what was going on. So obviously I know the song, so I was focusing a little bit more on the video. I'll talk about the song, but my God. Um, this is some heavy stuff. I want to live. I mean, this is kind of, to me, we're like halfway through the album, and this new context to this song, it's kind of like we still got this ideal, like, wanting someone to, like, come to you, and in this case, fall for you, right? But I think here, it really is, like, kind of wanting someone to fall from grace for you. Like, you know that you're in a horrible spot, but you want someone to come down and be with you in that horrible spot. And, man, this like feeling of inadequacy and fear. What else do we have? Like, I want to understand to let go. What was the part that there's a part that really stuck out to me? If we are to be submerged, let us be submerged. So even in this song, which I would argue the lyrics don't really get to this like ocean theme that we've seen for the rest of the album. We do have this feeling like he's walking into the ocean. He wants to be able to let go. So I think this is like a good example of like internal conflict, and even some juxtaposition between the lyrics, which are very idyllic, and saying, "Hey, won't you fall for me?" And then this video, which seems to show this struggle of wanting to actually let it go. Man, I didn't expect this to actually affect me as much as it did. Which I guess it's because of this juxtaposition. I kind of thought I knew what the song was going for, and it has kind of upended itself with the video and what it's trying to talk about. So maybe if you weren't catching the lyrics as much, so what's striking to me about this is we get this very beautiful verse that is just like in the theater of your mind, right? You can see this, or at least I can, with the glassy vocals, with the vocoded effects, like burning cathedrals, glass skies, all being barely held together. Won't you fall for me from reality, where maybe, man, maybe like there's this idyllic version of what's going on, and then having to come down to this like barren, just insecure person. Man, I'm having a hard time putting words to this. Kind of what this is making me feel, because yeah, this is completely different than kind of what I felt from the song, because we do have this pleading, right? Oh God, I wish you were here. But then the music video kind of takes a turn and tells us that it kind of seems, this kind of seems like he wants it to be like, okay, I want it to be over, but then I also forgot at the very end we have together. So it's this insecurity, this feeling of not being good enough, I feel like, and just wanting to pull somebody down with you, even though you don't really feel like you deserve to have them. You're stuck in this barren wasteland, wanting to have some reason to live. And this is especially heartbreaking, I guess, kind of with the context of Atlantic, which to me seems like a suicide attempt, like I said before. So this seems like maybe a cry for help midway through the album that harkens back to that. I don't know. And that's rough. But to talk about it a little bit more, obviously, Vessel's delivery is great. The reason I didn't think this was going to get a music video is just because it seems like a transition song in the middle of the album. I've talked to some of my friends that don't like this song very much, but I think it's great. The arrangement and the way that his like the chords change behind his vocals, the intimacy of it is really, really interesting to me. But I'm gonna move on from this. Man, I didn't expect to kind of get hit this hard by this music video. Man. Well, since this song was a little short, I am gonna move on and do Alkaline as well. Alkaline was the lead single for this album, if I'm remembering correctly. Or at least it's the first thing I heard from this album when I really was not that familiar with Sleep Token. I'd heard some of Sundowning, but this is a song that really drew me in. So we're going to watch the music video here. Let me go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. So we got Vessel here again. There's some dead guys around him, looks like.
Every once in a while, something changes, and she's changing me. It's too late for me now. I am altered. There is something beneath.
So I just want to praise them once again for their restraint here in the way that they start this song. It's this plodding, slow synth line that jumps. It has these big jumps in the notes. It's super interesting for tension building. And even the delivery of his lines, like when he says, "It's changing me," like that, just hanging on to every word. It's just kind of creating this drama, right? It's incredible. And it's just his voice and a synth line, and there's kind of like a back, like there's some kind of like pad or something in the very back that's just like hanging as well. Man.
It's too late for me now. I am altered. There is something beneath. She's not acid nor alkaline, caught between black and white, not quite either day or night. She's
The synth added a few more notes.
I'm caught up in her design and how it connects to mine. I see in a different light the objects of my desire.
I love this part.
Ooh, let's talk about chemistry, 'cause I'm
So just to lead into that, I love the little electronic beat that starts. There's this like dinging going on that's very unsettling. And then we get kind of electronic drum beat going on, and of course we're gonna come straight in. This is a song that, after all this tension, we finally get the full out version of the song. Man, it's so fun. And it's creepy too with this whatever's going on here.
Ooh, let's talk about chemistry, 'cause I'm dying to melt through to the heart of the molecules, till the particles part like holy water. If anything, she's an undiscovered element, either born in hell or heaven sent. Either way, I'm into it.
So I hate to stop so much, but I want you to kind of think about, or if you have heard this song before, if you listen to that first verse, everything is there to set up the entirety of the rest of the runtime of this song. There's a melody over top that I will point out when it comes back again. The rhythm guitar work is probably my favorite that they've ever done. It's just a fun, just bouncy riff. And there's also some vocal work going on, which will come back as well. I just think it's incredible how they've done that. But yeah, I'll go back a little bit and we'll get to the actual chorus again. Oh, that drum though, my god. Oh, this is just so good. So it's that, okay, I have a lot to talk about here. So that's a long chorus to do twice. And the way that they make it not boring, because it could be, is one, the drummer is having the time of his life in the background, if you didn't notice. He's back there, it's more fill than it is, just straight notes. It's almost like a 30-second long fill going on for him. But there's also, it builds the second time it comes up. They bring the synths up louder. There's also some of Vessel's like backing vocals that get brought up in the mix. And throughout this whole thing, since the verse came in, when everybody came in, there's been that synth line, that when everything drops out, you hear it keep going. And I think of that as kind of like a tether that keeps us going through this song. It is there almost constantly, or maybe constantly if I went back and listened more carefully, since all the instruments came in. And here it is, leading us into the final part of the song. And you'll hear it after everything kind of drops out here. And in that entire in section, right, where it's almost like a breakdown and a bridge and an outro all in one. What's interesting is that guitar rhythm had been there since the first verse, but the first time I listened to this, I was like, oh, that's cool. Why didn't they use that elsewhere in the song? They did use it elsewhere in the song. That had been going around in the background, but the drums had changed up to highlight it. There's no longer a verse going on over top. And it makes it sound new, even though it's not new. With the kind of Vessel's vocals flying over top, more as like a background thing this time. And once again, they do this all the time. They set up in that first verse the rhythm guitar, the synth thing repeated, melody that happens, and those backup vocals, and it pays off at the very end whenever Vessel drops out. So it sounds new, but it's not new. And to me, that's really exciting. In this song that, the song's not very long, right? But it feels like a total arc has happened throughout this song. And I didn't talk about the music video as much for this one. I personally don't pull too much meaning from this song, or from the video. I think it's there mostly to just kind of look cool. Maybe some of you will have a different theory about what's going on with it. I just kind of think it looks cool. It's creepy. Vessel kind of looks creepy, right? Um, but either way, I bet there is meaning to it. It's Sleep Token. They don't do anything by accident. But let's talk about the lyrics so I can kind of get into what's going on here. I think the lyrics are cool here. We've got this motif in the chorus of juxtaposing two extremes and saying that this person, she, is neither. Somewhere between these extremes. Day or night, black or white, acid nor alkaline. And we're back into this kind of obsession type of deal, especially with this part where I'm caught up in her design and how it connects to mine. I've seen a different light, the objects of my desire. And I really like the lyrics. Some of my favorite lyrics on the album, just because it's just kind of I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of a science guy, so I just think it's funny to have this like talk about chemistry. I'm dying to melt through to the heart of her molecules till the particles part like holy water. It's just this seems to be the dissolution of the ideal here. Both Fall for Me and this kind of feel this way, where this like putting someone up on this pedestal has fallen apart, and we're now in this middle zone where we don't really know if this is going to be good, if this is going to be bad, but either way, they're into it, which is kind of fun lyrics as well. So that's really the heart of what's going on here. Obviously, they repeat the chorus. The chorus is basically most of the song. I do think that is the main thing that's going on here, though. It's just we're moving into reality a little bit more. We've kind of left behind some of the flowery language of the last song and even some of the earlier songs. And now it seems like, okay, whatever this is going to be, I'm just going to go full into it. But I'm curious what you guys think as well. I'd seen some comments on previous videos, specifically the one for The Love You Want, with some analysis, some things I missed. I'm more than happy to see what you guys think and see how you guys specifically interpret this video. I really don't have too much to say about it. I just like the monster movie aesthetic, like horror. So it's kind of like an Evil Dead type situation with the thing in the box, right? But either way, I'll catch you on the next one. Maybe I'll double up more songs in the future if they're short and I don't have as much to say about them. But this was fun seeing, especially Fall for Me for the first time. Exciting to get to react to that. And I'll see you guys on the next one.